An album that was very anticipated though. It's been 5 years since the debut album Hozier came
Mm.
out in 2014. We had an EP last year, Nina Cried Power. We reviewed it. A couple songs on there we liked. Cautiously Optimistic. What'd you think of Wasteland Baby, Hozier's second album?
Yeah, two of those Nina Cry Power songs are back on this
Mm-hmm.
new Hozier record. And yeah, I liked it. I think it's more of, I don't say more of the same. That sounds negative, but like it's more of what I like from the Nina Cried Power joints. It's just, he has an interesting uh, charisma
Mm-hmm.
as a alt rock soul artist. I don't know. How would you actually categorize him?
Like indie folk, I guess. Indie
Yeah,
folk rock.
definitely folk adjacent.
Mhm, yeah.
um, but unlike most folk music, I can't stand because it's just a snooze fest for me. But
Mm.
Hozier, I really like just because there's more like bark to his music, and he also has a unique voice, unique cadence.
Yeah.
So I think again, like this is a long record, but I think it flows pretty well and it sounds good. And I think for an artist that basically went away after he got mega famous at age 23, comes back almost what is it, 4.5 years later?
Yep.
5 years later, like it's definitely a successful comeback. He's going to have a huge tour off this, and obviously there's no "Take Me to Church" on this song. That song is approaching 1 billion streams on Spotify. I don't think he's ever going to achieve that kind of success again, considering the genre of music he makes. That being said, he is like top 120 on Spotify. He gets like 15 million monthly listeners. He is a gigantic artist,
Yeah.
and he is signed to Island, which is the British label run by Universal. So he's mainstream as it gets, honestly. But I don't think he compromised anything on this after all the fame, which is probably all you can ask for if you're a big fan of him.
Yeah, it's actually kind of crazy to think about that he's top 150 streamed artist on Spotify when he really only has one record prior to this past Friday. He has a huge following. I think the appeal is obvious. You kind of touched on a lot of it. I actually think "Take Me to Church" artistically has hurt him just a little bit on this record, because I think the songs where he tries to lean into like that, like having the church choir in the background and trying to make it a little bit more like dark and edgy, is when the songs seem to lack a little bit for me. And I think when he leans more into the songs, like off his first record, Jackie Wilson, or Cherry Wine, like songs that are more folky, but he really finds a way to make them catchy and more mainstream than most folk comes across. I think that's when he does his best. And like a song like "No Plan" on this is one that stands out to me. Even the title track "Wasteland Baby," Almost Sweet Music. I think all those songs kind of fit in that mold where he's able to use his songwriting, which I think is excellent, to deliver these songs that most people wouldn't like in a way that just makes you want to listen to them over and over and over again. I know I listened to this album like 3 or 4 times sitting at my desk last Friday, just kind of like working my way through it. So, I'm wondering, because I know that you're not big into like indie rock, folk rock. Like, what do you think it really makes Hozier like transcend past where most artists like him are? Because he really, I think you could very easily just call him indie rock, but something about him as an artist really captures people.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's maybe like a bigger sound. I don't know. Like he's like good Mumford and Sons, Like he's way like better written, just more interesting, but that base appeal to the white people of the world, of which there are many. I don't know. I think it's just he came around at the right time, but it's just again, I just find it very interesting that he's so famous and so successful despite making music that is much more artistic than most of the folk grab bag you get nowadays,
Yeah.
So like the Lumineers and Mumford and Sons just pale in comparison to what Hozier can do. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I need to listen to some of the press he does because I like to listen to hear more about his process. But yeah, just honestly, I'm pretty blown away that you can go away for that long in your 20s in your prime while you're making all this money streaming all this music, and then this is the album you can make. You know, he
Yeah.
didn't sell out. It's very impressive.
Yeah, and this album actually feels a bit like a transitional album for me. I think he's really still finding how he wants to make songs and how he wants to be writing them. And I have a feeling his next album is really going to be when he's able to kind of put it all together, as he matures as an artist and thinks about more what he has to say. So, Hozier, I'm really excited for the feedback we get on this, because I know that he has a huge following, and I think that he's excellent. And I hope we get some Hozier fans following this page, because we like to talk about him for sure.